Buddy, hold on to your hand knit socks. I finished 2 books this week.
Okay, I'm holding them.
Oh gosh, okay.
There was a prop. It was right here.
That's fantastic. Thank you for
So, welcome to the Northern Knits Podcast. We are two friends in fibre who knit, craft, and crochet, and talk everything in between. My name is Jocelyn, and my co-host is
Diana.
I currently call Winnipeg, Manitoba home, and Diana currently calls Waterloo, Ontario home. This is episode 207. It's a Sunday afternoon. That does not guarantee that we are going to be any more coherent than we are any other day of the week. And for everybody who's watching this later on YouTube, yes, I understand that it's actually Wednesday for you guys. It's Sunday for us. There's a editing thing that goes on. I'm not fast.
Editing this amount of video is just not fast, even if all you do is like 2 cuts and then export it. Like that's still like 6 hours right there. And then you gotta upload it.
It's about 5 hours just to edit. I don't count exporting time because I can do other things while it exports quietly in the background. But it's about anywhere from like 3.5 to 5 hours to edit each video. So, and we don't actually do that much. I in fact do very little editing. It's bad, guys. All right. On the bright side, Diana's gonna let everybody know what we're gonna cover, and I'm gonna continue to drink my coffee.
This week we've got What's in Our Cup, Cool Threads, Woolly Workings, Wool Gathering, and Kniterature.
Ooh. In the omnipresent Christmas mug, I need another big mug that isn't Christmassy. That will fill the place of the Christmas mug in the non-Christmas season.
So you need a big Halloween mug.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm drinking some decaf coffee from Dogwood. What did I say? Dogwood? Where did I order this coffee from?
I don't know. You ordered it.
Dogwood coffee from here in the city. I ordered a bunch. I'm going to show you the side that doesn't have my address on it. I ordered 2 bags for Diana for her birthday. Her birthday was this week. They're still sitting here beside me. And I ordered a bag for myself. Mine is decaf. Hers is caffeinated. So I'm just drinking that.
I sent your present off on my birthday, which is a day late for your birthday. It also contains coffee of a decaf nature from a local to me roaster.
Sweet. So Diana isn't just getting her birthday present, she's also getting a bulk care package. So I gotta get out this week to get that done. So that's gotta happen. But whatever. The week ran away on me and I'm still technically not allowed out of the house. So I went, guess what? I just told Diana what her birthday present was because she's gonna have to wait till it gets to her. It is what it is. And we move on. What are you drinking?
I am drinking straight up double shot of espresso. 1 second while I finish this stitch here, because I'm drinking it out of a birthday present that I got from my brother, which magically showed up actually on my birthday somehow.
At 2:50 p.m. you're having a double espresso?
Well,
okay.
I mean, I made it at
okay.
Yeah. I made it an hour ago. It's cold now.
Aren't you the one who always tells me you can't have caffeine in the afternoon because then you can't sleep?
But I had to show off this adorable cup that I got for my birthday.
It's a very adorable cup. Your brother found an amazing vintage cup for you.
I will take the sleepless night. It's worth it just to show off this. This is my birthday present. It's this adorable little espresso cup. It's so cute. Properly vintage. It's got it's made in England.
Is there improperly vintage? Is there improperly vintage?
Well, I mean, there's like looks vintage but isn't actually like vintage style, but this is like actually vintage. And it's so cute and it's green and it's gold and it's so cute, and I finally have a proper little espresso cup that just nicely fits a double shot of espresso.
Okay, crazy lady drinking espresso at 2:30 in the afternoon when you know it keeps you up.
You know, it's worse. It's 3:30 in the afternoon for me.
Oh my God, that's right. You're an hour ahead of me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well done.
That's fine. The caffeine crash is about 6 hours after, so
okay.
This should be about perfect for me to be going, yep, it's bedtime.
Okay.
I'm pushing the limits, but I'm not past them yet. Totally. I'm a little past. It's fine.
Fine.
It's fine. I work from home. I just have to like roll out of bed, come over here, post an emoji in Slack, and there I'm at work. And then go downstairs and make breakfast.
I'm never complain about my commute for a reason. I don't have one. I have a
I'm warming up to the working from home.
great setup here at home. It's wonderful. Wonderful. I enjoy it. I don't have a problem with working from home or working for myself. It's a bit of a nuisance, but I make it work. It's nice to get out. I think once I'm able to go out and have walks and stuff, it'll be easier on me. But until then, I just do a lot of work.
Walks are so amazing. Walks are like the most underrated thing.
Oh, I love walking. I miss getting out and walking. It's a thing I miss doing. Maybe by the end of the year. We'll see how vaccinations go. More realistic than I think a lot of people are about those sorts of things. All right. Well, that's it. And I obviously have not left my house, and I'm not going to list the same 5 cardigans I wear all week long. Same 5 cardigans, guys. I keep wearing them. I like them. I made them. I enjoy them. I'm not going to list my handmade socks. I like them. I wear them. I enjoy them. It is what it is. I don't really have any cool threads. And we're into spring, so I probably won't have cool threads till next fall.
See, for me, this is like perfect wool wearing weather because it's about 0, but it's damp, which is ideal wool temperatures.
If I'm able to get
So,
out, maybe shortly, because then I can wear like my lighter shawls and stuff, but we're closing in on non-shawl season for Jocelyn.
yeah, it's just always shell season for me. I'm perpetually chilly.
I do have hopes for the habanero cardigan because I made that at such a loose weave that
Yeah.
I'll be able to wear that well into the spring season.
Things I have worn this week. Let's see. I wore my Comfort Fade cardi, which is hanging here on a chair behind me, because that didn't get put away. I wore my flax pullover this week, which is sitting in a lump at the end of my bed that hasn't been put away. It was a really good week for wearing wool because we got up to like 15 degrees. So I sat outside on my patio to do work. And then for 2 days this week, I was at a conference, in quotations, attending a virtual conference, which my work was very firmly like, nope, you're not working. You're at a conference. Go away. Stop doing work. And so I sat on my patio drinking tea and knitting and watching talks for 2 days.
I really don't see that as a downside. I really see that as
No, there is no downside to this. And then yeah, I just needed like a sweater for sitting out there. So yeah, sweaters got worn this week.
done. Done. I like it. Sounds like a good way to spend a week to me.
So good. Such a good week. Such a chill week. It was wonderful.
Good. It's a good way a birthday week should be.
Yeah.
Eh,
Oh no, what have I done?
I don't
I
know.
dropped a stitch.
Gotta learn to stop dropping stitches.
Oh no. Okay. You should talk about a thing while I fix my stitch.
Cool. Jocelyn's gonna go first because the world has righted itself. There is nothing to worry about. The ship is now on level. I have way more projects than Diana again.
Yep.
So that this is where we are, people. All right. For the month of March, you may or may not be aware that Louise and I did a sweater off in February. It was a wonderful challenge. We enjoyed chatting so much. We decided we were going to do monthly check-ins and sort of challenge each other to finish up old whips. Now, I don't have as many whips as Louise has because she had 50 new starts at least last year.
Whew.
She does a new start Monday pretty much every week. It's a lot of whips. But I have some really big whips that I tend to put off because you lose heart on a project if after a while sometimes. So for the month of March, I said I wanted to have some very clear cut goals. They were going to be fairly large goals because that's how I roll. That's what I wanted to get done. And apparently I have something in my eyeball because my eye's like, dude, there's something in here.
Well, yeah, your finger's in it now.
Well, now it's my finger. Before it was something else. Maybe an eyelash?
Could be.
Probably an eyelash. So now that we've dealt with the eyelash drama, I decided this month, my first one was going to be to finish my shawl, which I got it off the needles and blocked. The ends need to be woven in, photos need to be taken, and the pattern needs to be finished. But the King's Flame already has the testers already done. They're already contacted. We're all good to go. So that is on track-ish. The biggest part is getting the pattern done this week so I can get out to the tech editor and stuff. So the biggest part is getting my part of the work done. Go figure. That was one of my goals. Another one was to work on my 8-bit sweater. Conveniently, Diana and I are now challenging each other for that. So that's a 2-for-1. And the other thing I wanted to do this month on that goal list was knit a pair of socks in the month of March. I know I can knit a pair of socks in a month. I just don't. I am aware I could do it. I always put it off. I find other things to do. Socks take me 3 months. This is getting ridiculous. I need to get better at it. So I'm getting better at it by challenging myself. That, and I want to participate in the Fibre Friends Easter weekend long. It's the Fibre Friends Facebook group is having a Easter weekend sock challenge, and it's challenge yourself to a level of sock knitting. And 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Good Friday, Saturday, and then Palm Sunday. No, is that Palm Monday, Good Sunday? Oh, it's been a long time since I've been in Sunday school. I don't remember.
I really can't help you.
I get the wordage a little messy around Lent. So I said, okay, if I'm going to try for a sock in 3 days, I got to try to get a pair done in a month. Let's just scale up incrementally so I don't want to, hang myself by my sock yarn. So last week, I started a sock. Like, what, the 8th of March? I'm doing great on this whole knit a pair of socks a month by not casting anything on until nearly the 10th. I am past the heel and up the leg.
Oh, wow.
Like, I know I could do it. I know I can knit a pair of socks in a month. This is now, what, the 14th?
Yeah, so that's like, what, 4 days?
Yeah, give or take. And I almost did a whole sock.
So, yeah.
So I feel like that 3-day and a whole sock is not an unachievable goal for me. I obviously did not go with the pattern socks, which was I was going to use the cranberry sauce pattern, and then use Fireweed Fiber Co.'s really pretty February sock club yarn. But I really didn't want to sort of shoot myself in the foot and cause myself some grief by trying to do that and get those done in a month. So I put those off to like maybe be my April socks or something. So I can denote like an actual full month minus the first 3 days of the month to those socks. And then it doesn't matter if I don't get them done in time because they don't have a deadline. So if the pattern slows me down, it's fine. So I pulled out some super sock and woolen stuff.
Super sock and woolen stuff.
I had the ball band somewhere. I don't know where it's gone now. Maybe it's over here. You guys should see the hot mess that is my desk right now, which is my working space. Here it is. It's the Comfort Sock and Woolen. It's the Comfort Sock and Woolen.
Oh, it is.
I remember.
Sock and woolen.
It's Comfort Sock and Woolen. This one, it's in from Germany. Yeah, this is some German yarn, so it's all stuff I can't do. There's no colorway. There's just a series of numbers when you get them. These ones definitely do that wonderful gray tone, grayscale. So we've got muted white through light gray, medium gray, dark gray, even darker gray, and then back out again. Because, grayscale.
Yeah.
What I did do was a different heel.
Different heel. Okay.
Different heel. So I love a garter heel. It's extra squishy. I love me extra squish, and all of my wear in my socks is at my heel. I don't blow out toes. I wear out my heels because I stand on the back of my foot when I'm stationary. So it's just where I put my wear on my socks. Everybody's different. Some people are going to wear your toe. Some people wear out the bottoms of their feet. It just depends on how you walk. So I started making garter heels, loved short row heels because I'm a toe up sock knitter. That is where I'm happiest. But I kept having problems with the little holes in the yarn, like in the short rows. And for the life of me, I would miss. And then I'd have little holes I'd have to sew up along the side. There's no holes here because I did a mock short row heel.
Ooh.
So I actually did it, and it's literally a mock short row heel. I YouTubed it. Being the classy human that I am.
I'm going to write that down so I can maybe remember to link it in the show notes.
I will try to get you the lady's name because she does a very good tutorial so that Diana can link it in the show notes because I don't remember off the top of my head because I am a professional. So I did hers and she does hers stockinette. I knit my rows instead of knit and purling my rows. But she essentially has you bind off to your trapezoid point, and then when you're coming back down the top half of the heel, you just pick up your end stitch.
Interesting.
For me, got rid of those holes. And I don't have a hole at the start or end either. Not one that I'm going to care about. Size-wise. So, hello. And this is my first go at this heel. So like my little inconsistencies are just going to get better with time because I understand it better now than I did the first time I did it. So super happy I tried that new heel, and my God, was it fast. Short row heels usually take me like 4 hours or so. I'm really slow at detail work, guys. I can't see the stitches. So I have to slow down. I cannot go fast. This let me go at my normal speed. So it was only like an hour or two to do the heel.
Oh, wow.
Like, here's that mythical hour or two heel everyone's been talking about my whole sock knitting career. And I'm like, what are people smoking? Heels take forever. No, they don't. No, they don't. You can, see what you're doing. They move much quicker for you. So I'm slowly making my way down the foot. I'm about halfway mark down the leg of the socks, so I'll keep going. The other thing I do with my socks when I'm knitting them in the round is I tuck my heel inside my sock, which makes this little pockety dude. And then I literally clover clip, because I have the clover, what are they, stitch markers?
Yeah, the clippy stitch markers.
Clippy stitch markers. I clip my sock up so it takes up less space.
And it's not flopping around so much.
And it doesn't flop around so much, so it's a lot easier for me to work on. So that's what I got going on. Now, the other thing I'm going to talk about before Diana goes, because at some point I know one of her 2 projects is the 8-bit sweater, because she posted on Discord that she was cut up and she challenged me to a race, so it's on. It's like, I know the 8-bits in there somewhere. So I technically recast it on this week. That is the Stephen West Winterlights shawl. Guys, y'all remember I casted, I'm watching way too many texts and people right now.
Mm-hmm.
I recasted on the Stephen West Winterlights shawl. I decided on my main color being this beautiful dark gray from Cascade in their Heritage, I think is the thing gray. And this mysterious antique gold deep wheat color. It's
Mysterious.
Well, it's because it's got no ball band, so I'm not entirely sure what the colorway is.
Ah, okay. Mysterious. Gotcha.
But it's definitely got a bit of alpaca in it from the fuzz that's going on. And it's not mohair, because if it was like mohair, it would drive me nuts. But it does have some alpaca in it.
Okay.
A little bit of fluff, but that's fine. So I don't know, but we're definitely that deep, goldeny, harvest wheat color, antique gold color. But we're not brass. We're not, that's where. Those are my first 2 colors. I have my other 2 colors. It all lives inside my Ginger Snap That Halloween skeleton bag. Because skeletons. Yeah, my other big mug really needs to be Halloween, doesn't it? You're right. I gotta find a Halloween mug. It's only, March. Shouldn't take too long for me.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. But hey, look, my rows now look proper. So if you remember the last time I cast this on, I had a heck of a time getting my rays, I guess, to work out in section 2 of his pattern. So I ripped it out because half of them were right and half of them were wrong, and it just looked weird. Now, hey, somebody came home.
I heard that. It's very exciting.
Willow is stoked. Guys, Willow's the German Shepherd who lives upstairs.
She sounds terrifying. She just wants to lick you.
Just the worst guard dog on the planet.
Yeah, like somebody could be breaking in to steal your everything, and you're just like, play, lick, lick.
Here's my ball. Big, beefy, 95-pound German Shepherd lapdog is what she is.
Uh-huh.
Troublemaker.
She's just the friendliest thing.
Just the troublemaker. Does not grasp the concept of personal space. It's kind of fun.
No.
It doesn't exist with her. So I've got my gray going, and then now I'm striping, well, I guess patterning in that antique gold, which looks so good. So good.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
so
God.
rich and
I'm
meaty.
really excited to see this.
And I'm so happy it's working out this time. This is happening because the Modern Skein, which is a shop in Texas, is running a knit along. And did I check how long this knit along was running for? No. I saw Stephen West knit along. I jumped in. Had to happen. It runs to the end of May. Diana, this is like the most relaxed knit along I've ever been a part of in my life. To the end of May.
Yeah. You've got months, not just days or weeks. You've
I
got
got
literal months.
so happy.
You got 2.5 months.
I know. I'm like, that's a reasonable time frame for a Stephen West knit along. I could
Yeah.
totally get this shawl done in time. So stoked. I mean, yes, I could do a Stephen West shawl faster if I only knit on one project, but really, where's the fun in that? So, super excited. I got to get obviously more progress done this week before the weekly check in on Thursday, but that's okay. I wanted to get a couple other things done. And since this didn't exist last week, this looks like a lot to you guys.
Yes, it does.
On my ChowGoos, because I'm at the point now where I have enough ChowGoo needles that almost all of my projects are on ChowGoo needles. I've been replacing my Knitter's Pride needles with ChowGoos as they die, because I work in fixed circulars. So I knocked something over. I'll deal with it later. All right,
Crash bang.
me with 2, so you're up.
Okay, wait, one more stitch. Okay.
That I can.
I'm not going to talk about that one because I'm still in the middle of a row. I will talk about the sad news first.
Oh no.
So, I challenged Jocelyn to a race to finish the 8-bit sweater.
Publicly.
I did. Yeah, I did. And then I also knew that I was going to have my 2 days of conference attendance.
Yeah.
AKA sitting on my patio drinking tea and knitting. I can't believe that's my job. Anyway, moving along. So I'm knitting away. And so first of all, when I joined the sleeves, I knew I was a little bit off because I think maybe I didn't end my sleeves quite the way that I was supposed to because the B chart pattern wasn't lining up, the checkered pattern.
Okay.
So I just I fudged it a little bit because it was like 3 stitches.
Yeah.
And carried on my merry way, and everything was working out great. So I'm knitting along, and I'm like, I switched my color dominance at some point. Let's see if I can actually show off how different it is, because it's not been showing up well on camera. I can see it. Oh yes, you can see it now.
Oh my.
Yeah, you can see the color dominance is just totally different, and I don't know how, because I'm so certain I was holding the yarn the same way. Because I was really worried about changing my color dominance when I picked it up to finish the boo chart.
Yes.
But obviously I didn't, because the rest of the boo chart and the row above it looks just fine. But then somehow I joined the sleeves and changed.
Cool.
I don't know. I guess I switched which hand I was holding the yarns in. But I figure, it's like one little band, and I can just switch back and keep going. It'll be fine. So I carry on my merry way, and I'm doing the video game controller chart, and I'm getting around, and it's a 30 stitch wide chart.
Yes, I know.
This is 21 stitches left. I have lost 9 stitches.
Oh no! Oh no!
They've just mysteriously gone poof.
Oh no!
Because the B chart lines up. But somehow I've just lost 3 repeats of the B chart somewhere. And I think it must have happened when I joined the sleeves, and I fudged things a little bit, so I counted. So the way the sleeve join works, you end up with a hole under the arm, and you just knit around the outside of the top. So you should wind up with
together at the end.
Yeah. So you should wind up with 15 unworked sleeve stitches and 15 unworked body stitches.
Yes.
So I counted.
Okay.
I have 18 body stitches and 16 sleeve stitches.
Well, I think I know where your missing stitches are.
but it's the same count on both sleeves, which is only 4 stitches wrong on both sleeves, which is only 8 stitches. So I really don't know where the 9th stitch went.
This is the case
No
of
clue.
missing stitch.
The case of the missing stitch. I don't know.
Oh,
I
no.
don't know where it went.
Oh no.
I think it must be on one of the sleeves, and I can't count. I think it must be.
So,
But I've counted twice on both sleeves, and I can't find it. So between the color dominance screw up and my 9 missing stitches, I have to rip back and rejoin my sleeves.
oh no.
That's like 2 inches of color work that I just have to rip back. I left the line the waist holder yarn in my sleeves specifically in case this has to happen.
Yep.
So
good plan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
So I realized this on Thursday afternoon, and I decided to marinate on it and just leave it. Oh yeah, you can see how I fixed my color dominance. It's just like these 3 repeats right here. The color dominance is screwy.
Oh
Gosh.
goodness.
So like, this is gonna irritate me to no end, and I can't work with 9 missing stitches. Like, and that probably means that my arms are not joined quite properly, and it wouldn't fit right. And so I have to pull it out.
That hurts. That hurts my soul.
It hurts my, yeah. So I left it so that I could talk about it and show you my mistakes.
Oh boy. Okay. Ouch. Ouch.
So this is going in timeout for, well, it's been in timeout for a few days. It's probably going to spend another day or 2 in timeout before I have the strength to rip out 3 inches of colorwork knitting and rejoin my sleeves.
Fair. That's not an insignificant amount of work to have to pull out. That hurts.
Yeah, that's what I get for trying to join sleeves while drinking wine when I've never joined sleeves before.
I feel like, yes.
I knew it was a bad idea when I was doing it. And I did it anyway.
PSA.
And it seemed like it was fine. It was not fine.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, so that's in timeout.
Oh my. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's
I have not had a fiber flub in months, so there's like 2 or 3 of them right there.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it properly.
You know, you just got to go all in. Just do it.
Oh my goodness.
All right. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Cool. So in which case I will show the progress I've made on the 8-bit sweater, and we won't talk about it that much because I don't have to frog 3 inches of color work.
Go for it. So are you finished the video game chart?
Yep.
Oh, the other thing, the video game controller chart, I did mod it so that it's because the way it's written in the pattern, it's the Child's Play logo. So it's your standard like console controller with the D-pad in the middle. Yes. Because it's the Child's Play logo, and yeah, something about the pattern was raising money for Child's Play, or it's a charity that the designer supports. I can't remember. Anyway, but I've modded it so that it has the D-pad off to the side and the 4 buttons. That's reverse for you. The D-pad and the 4 buttons.
That's right. I feel like I do the reversing in my head.
Yeah.
No, I'm already done.
All right. Yeah. So you're winning the race because I have to go back to the beginning.
Well, I still have to steek
and do a button band. So that might be my saving grace.
So that might be your saving grace because I've never steeked before. So there'll be a lot of consulting things before I do any sort of cutting. So now that I've flipped this beast inside out so you guys can see it, because Jocelyn Color works backwards, with my wonderful two colors from Briggs & Little in their sport in dark gray and cream. I know, super exciting color choices, guys. I know. When I put this down, way back in the day, I was done my boot chart. I'd connected my sleeves. I literally just have the controller and decreases to do. Well, I'm done the controller.
Yep,
To me,
you're
that was
way.
racist, so I took it seriously.
Well, I would have kept working on it and probably been like a good way like into the controller chart because I would have worked on it all weekend, but it's just been sitting in timeout until I can bear to pull out 3 inches of color work.
Which is fair. So I'm just doing my last row on this chart, which is the white repeat row. And then I have to look at neck decreasing, which is scary because I did not do the increases well on the sleeves. So I feel like the decreases of the neck yoke are also going to cause me complications. But as you can see, I just did the Child's Play logo. It's fine. The one person who would say anything about it has already been verbally instructed that the exact words to come out of his mouth are, "That looks great, Jocelyn, and I think you did a wonderful job." So now that he knows what he has to do, we're good. So now I'm going to flip this inside out, which is how I work on it. Not that I'm working on it right now, even though I've got that color chart B memorized like nobody's business at this point. Guys, it's a really long sweater. I put in all the extra inches so that it would be really long because that's how I likes it. But awkward city. Whew. This is my first bottom up sweater. So I've done sweaters in pieces. I've done sweaters top down, and this is bottom up. I've done sweaters with different sleeve insets top down too. So like we've done a variety of sweater construction techniques. I'm not sure if languishing on the body on the way down in a top down sweater is better or worse than languishing when you have your sleeves and your whole sweater in your lap and you're trying to do your yoke decreases. Both are equally as daunting. Because right now, when I work on this, I sit in capris and a tank top. So, like, I got to get this done shortly because there is no way I could have this much sweater resting in my lap.
Is very toasty.
It's a very toasty sweater, which is exactly what I want it to be. So I'm happy that that's where it is. But holy Hannah, I need to get this steeked and this button band done before the end of April, or I am hooped. There's no way I'm wearing it before October. That's fine. I don't mind. I need to probably line it anyway. Because that's the kind of human I am. I'm seriously contemplating measuring out the square shape and making a pattern to go on the inside in some like brushed silk or something so that I don't have to weave in any of these ends. I just have to hand stitch down all of my outside hemming seams. I put in some pockets on the inside. So super contemplating adding extra work to the sweater, but that wasn't a part of the challenge. The challenge was to get it off the needles. So I have not grafted my underarms. I have not done the prep. Well, I mean, I've obviously put in my row of stitches for steeking this beautiful stripe of stitches that runs up the middle of this pattern here for no particular reason. Nice racer stripes. But I still need to, I'm going to, even though this is a full-on woolly wool, like it's a proper wool, what's an improper wool? It's a full-on sheepy wool that will felt a little when it gets washed and blocked. It's going to get washed and blocked, and then I'm going to, in the sweater format, because it's easier to block it out if you don't have two fronts to deal with. And then I'm going to sew on either side. I'm going to do the zigzag prepping for it. And then I'm going to steek it. Because once you cut, you can't go back. Then I'll do my button band. It'll also be easier once I've washed it and blocked it to take the measurements off of it to draft a inside lining pattern for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because let's just make my math easy. There's no reason for me to make it more difficult than necessary, people. Though it's super exciting random news, my mom and dad sourced some fur from a local indigenous trapper up near where they live.
Ooh, for the winter coat hood things?
For the winter coats, we've been looking to have the fur trim replacement. So I have some. Dad describes it as not as silver as his hair. Kind of white, gray coyote coming to me, which will have a bit of a longer staple fur because I do longer walks than my mom. And my mom got a very pretty soft one. Though she said she almost made Dad buy her the rabbit because she just wants to bathe in that. She's just going to rub it all over her body.
Oh gosh, rabbit is so. Oh.
For anybody who's thinking of getting angry, do not at me. Fur is a part of my heritage. I am Métis First Nation. We only buy local. We only buy from guys who like live on the reserve. Like it's part of their cultural heritage and it's a part of mine, or it would not happen. We don't buy from big commercial places. We never have. We never will. We do support the little guys, though. My parents believe very strongly in that. So, and that fur trim, if I take care of it, can last me 15 years. Which is way longer than anybody else's winter coats.
Yep.
All right, here is my wool. Here's that super sexy gray and cream from Briggs & Little. I still have like a full ball of each of these.
Yeah, I've got a lot of yarn too still. I'm gonna.
So happy about that.
There's not gonna be any yarn chicken going on here.
Oh, if I was also playing Yarn Chicken, the stress would be ridiculous. I would not be interested in finishing that project. So I got to try to tackle neck increases next week, and that'll definitely slow me down. So you've got a chance, Diana. But finished is washed and blocked, so
Off the needles, washed and blocked.
we got a ways to go, both of us.
Yep.
Okay. That just leaves me my half moon tea. And your, I'm assuming, Métis.
Actually, no.
You do realize you're running out of March, right?
I had that realization earlier today when I was counting up my projects, and yeah,
Cool.
well, because we were racing with the 8-bit, so like I've just been working on that. That's where 3 inches of color work knitting time went.
I mean, you're allowed to be salty about it because that sucks so bad.
There's a lot of salt going on over here.
Oh my god!
So much salt.
You were closer.
Anyway, no, I've had otherwise I've just had the King's Flame sitting on my desk for meetings and waiting for things to compile.
Yeah.
Because a not insignificant part of the days that I actually did work today were just waiting for things to compile. But it's not like enough time that you can go off and do something else useful. It's like 4 minutes.
Yep.
So like it's barely enough time to make tea.
Yeah.
And I have to do this like multiple times in a day. So just like little 4 minutes here and there. So yeah,
Hey,
couple more rows on the King's Flame.
Woohoo!
Ooh, let's focus on the King's Flame and not the background. How about that?
Oh, that color.
I know, it looks, wow, okay, I don't know what's up with the autofocus today. I'm having so many problems with it. Oh my god.
You guys don't know is the 30 minutes we spent before we started recording with Diana changing her lenses, turning everything off, turning everything back on again, getting into the digital settings. Have we learned our lesson? Do not play with your settings.
Yeah, I have in fact learned my lesson.
Holy Hannah.
Wow.
I know what excitement upstairs might be from. They were viewing houses today. Maybe the human.
Oh.
That might do it. You guys don't know, my sibling and my brother-in-law, who I split a house with right now, are house hunting for their very first house. So they're looking to buy their very first home. It's very exciting. And a process I don't think they will ever repeat again because, boy, they have not been enjoying it.
Wow, I like seriously broke the autofocus on this thing. Okay, we're back. In focus.
What are you gonna do?
I will mention that the yarn that I'm using for that is Malabrigo Makita, which is a single ply fingering weight, and the colorway is Diana. Had my name on it, had to buy it. Didn't know what it was going to be.
Had to buy it.
It's going to be this.
Oh, looks so good. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Yeah. All right. Well, I know we're closing in on the end of March, so I've been putting in a little bit of progress on my half moon tea because that's our podcast anniversary knit along knit for this year.
Yeah, I should actually like finish. I'm so close to finishing on time. I should actually like finish on time.
You have so little left to do if you don't.
I know.
March.
It would be hilarious if I didn't actually finish when I was this close.
Can you not hear everybody right now going?
I can, yes.
Anna.
They haven't seen this yet, but I can already hear them from like 6 different countries going, Diana, finish!
Her shirt. So I guess we can all hear them in our head. That's super.
I absolutely can. I can hear everyone telling me to finish on time. God damn it.
Message received. If you were like only like halfway down the body or something, like I am, holy Hannah. But you have like what, 8 rows of lace left?
No, I have minimum 4 repeats of lace left. What is going on out there?
Cool.
Wildlife is doing stuff. 4
Wildlife
times
is being
4
wild.
is 16. I have 16 rows left, plus whatever more I want to add to just keep going because the color's pretty.
So a minimum of 16 rows.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
I know.
Not like I get listen, this is the pot calling the kettle black. I finally skeined up the last ball.
Hey, progress.
Progress. I have no ground to stand on in one of my so into knitting Halloween bags. Are you catching a theme here, people? Halloween all the way. I have been very slowly making progress on my half moon tee. I hear everyone saying, Jocelyn, it's a crop top. I am aware it's a crop top. I'm making it a full-length sweater in fingering. Thank you very much. At a 48-inch bust. Because I'm crazy. Which will make it fitted around the girls and A-frame out from there, which looks great on my body. So I already know the shape's going to look phenomenal. I am well into my body. Like I'm well into the body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've only made about, I got what, half a thumb? So I got about an inch worth of progress done this week. So really not a ton of progress, but I did put on some progress. So I just got to show off how beautiful this freaking yarn is.
I'm so excited to see this done. Like, it's going to look so good.
So good. It's so good. So my main bodywork color is Zen Yarn Gardens in their Cottage Girl colorway. Boy, do we need to order Zen Yarn Garden. Oh my God, I need more of it in my life. My color work is made out of 2 colors. The white is my last Noble Ruby hand dyed, and I don't think she dyes anymore, in her Winter Berries. And then the blue is a blue skein of knit picks yarn I had called Bennett. So progress is slow and going. I'm still super worried I will not have enough to do the sleeves I initially set out to do for this one, but the body is more important because I can make sleeves shorter. I cannot make my torso shorter. So of the 2, I'm gonna keep going on the body. And it's not too bad because I found my measuring tape, guys. It was missing last week. I found all 7 of them.
Ugh.
When I start moving stuff around, everything goes sideways. And I dropped my bag. Here we go. So I've got at least, because you always want to have that quick impromptu way of measuring things without having to pull out your measuring tape like every time you want to check your progress that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned on worsted weight sweaters, pretty much on all sweaters, if I stick my arm in my armhole and not get caught on my needles holding my, because I can't pick up stitches, I have needles sitting in my project that hold my sleeves. I just leave them on a leftover needle. What leftover needle? I am closing in on my elbow. It's not an accurate measurement, guys. I'm just sticking my hand out my sleeve. And I'm closing in on my elbow from my hand. And I have to get to here before I start measuring. So I have at least another 6 inches to go before I even attempt measuring to see if I'm close. Because I need 18 inches of body minimum. That's from the underarm. It's not my back. I think most people are like 15 or 16 inches from their underarm to when they can start binding off, depending on where they want their sweater to sit. To hit my hip bone, I am 18. Long torso. Tall person, everything's long. That's how it works. So
long person is long.
Tall person is long. So these are the first 2 skeins I've been working on. I'm alternating each row, which is also just adding to that marled effect, that beautiful sort of marbling pooling coloring. I don't know really what to call it. I don't want to call it pooling because it's not technically pooling, but we're getting a bunch of those sort of, it's not striping all the way around, so it's not micro striping either.
It would micro stripe if it was like socks or something.
I think it might micro stripe if it was socks, or at very least pool more interesting. But it looks more like one of those, those crayon flow color paintings. It looks like one of those.
Oh,
That's what it
it
looks like.
does.
I
And
really like it. I really
it's got
like.
like a little bit of striping to it.
Yeah, it's not consistent. Like when you get a chance to look at the whole thing, like they never line up. So it looks more like one of those art flow paintings.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of striping, but you got a lot of color flow going on in there. So I'm so happy, and I love working in this yarn so much. I'm going to be sad when I'm done working on this project because this yarn is that freaking nice. Hence why I'm like, I need to order more. That needs to happen. So, but I'm running out of March. And now that I know Diana has to rip back 3 inches of color work, I feel like I can put the 8-bit down for the week and work on that half moon tee. That deadline's the back of my head. They're driving me crazy because I've not started my sleeves on that one, and I'd like to get some sleeve on that if I can. So, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's what, the 14th of March? I'm sure I can finish 2 sweaters, a sock and a half, and a shawl. No, I don't have to finish the Stephen West shawl. I just continue to make progress on the Stephen West shawl for the last 10 plus days of the month. No biggie.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm screwed.
We're doing wool gathering. I guess
while you do your ad spot.
My ad spot. I have had it on my to-do list for 2 or 3 weeks now to write out an actual thing to say. Have I done that yet? No, it's still there on my to-do list, cut and copied from week to week. If you like the shenanigans that you see before your eyes and ears, you can financially support us with our Patreon link in the description of this YouTube video or in the show notes if you're listening to this as a podcast.
Sam Riegel, you are not.
No, I'm really not. Oh, life goals.
We understand that not everybody can do Patreon. Not everybody's got the spare funds. Totally get it. Liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, joining us on our Facebook group, finding us on Ravelry, stalking me lightly on Twitter. These are all super perfectly acceptable. We also have an Instagram page. If you tag us, we will see it. And by we, I mean me. That's just how social media works for us people. It is a wonderful thing. Patreon members get a bunch of extras. There's a Discord chat for them. They get experimental Tuesdays. I believe at $5 and more a month. They also get to see our lovely faces once a month just to chill and chat. I can't wait for next Saturday, which is our next e-chat-in, because those are such glorious Saturdays.
They're pretty great.
Just chilling.
Still blows my mind, by the way, that like people pay us money to like that people give us money to keep doing this.
Weird, isn't it? Weird. Mind blown weird. So appreciative beyond words. Like I
cannot comprehend why you do this, but thank you. Like really.
Cool. I was like last
awkward
month.
Little dance.
One of our Patreon members last month paid for my sock club for February as my birthday gift. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. And of course, Aaron from Fireweed's like, oh, that's paid for. I'm like, excuse me, what now? Like a computer blue screen. I was like, please wait for reboot. Like,
I know somebody's sent me something for my birthday. It hasn't shown up yet, but yeah, somebody sent me something for my birthday. Oh, somebody sent me a pattern of theirs on Ravelry. I don't know if it was specifically for my birthday, but it was like on the 10th, so like close enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew it was my birthday, but they sent me one of their recently released new patterns. Yeah, so like that's pretty great.
Just mind-boggling.
Yeah, like this is so
weird.
It's just I cannot comprehend.
Delightful as all get out.
Yes.
just tickled to pink by it. I'm also terribly confused. So speaking of birthday acquisitions, um, Asa, the amazing moderator, and the doer of all things on social media that Jocelyn doesn't have time for because she's amazing and she rescues my butt so often it's not even funny. She knit me 2 pairs of socks for my birthday, you guys. 2 pairs. I've already worn one. They came out of the package and went right on my feet. That's how that worked. I have refrained from putting these ones on so I could show you guys on the podcast. I got hand knitted socks. This is so cool. I was telling my sister, and she's like, do knitters not gift knitters knitted things? I'm like, not nearly enough. She's like, why not? Who would appreciate it more than another knitter? I'm like, nobody, as far as I can tell. People who don't knit do appreciate it. Knitters really appreciate it. So you're like, no, I need to gift knitters more knitted things because this was just. Also, she told me I was getting a card. This is not a card.
She messaged me back in January and was like, I want to knit Jocelyn a pair of socks. She said a pair of socks, by the way. The 2 pairs was like, whoa.
Hello.
But she wanted to know about your foot size. Like, you knitted her socks once. What size do I make?
They're narrow, they're just long, and they fit my size of body, so they're not a size 6. That's just so ladies, I'm a US ladies 10 to 11 in the foot length, but I'm fairly narrow, so I don't need the 72 stitch around because my foot's kind of narrow. So
yep,
how my foot works. But yeah, they fit great. I love them. They're wonderful. I'm super happy with them, and I have hand knitted socks. I now have 3 pairs of hand knitted socks that I didn't make for myself. Which do you think are my favorite 3? That's a reasoning. So yeah, that's just crazy that happens. All right. So yeah, we talked about Patreon. We talked about the next e-knit, and so you still have time to jump in if you guys join on Patreon. Diana will send you a link. There will be a big kerfuffle because it never works out the way it's supposed to, but we do get it figured out eventually.
You'd think with a degree in computer science, I would be better at tech, but no.
That's not how it works.
No, I'm not.
That's not how tech works. You think with a degree in history I'd be better at remembering facts. Nope. Not even remotely. Things out of my head at all the times.
I have a degree in Googling basic things that I should remember, but I don't.
I just don't. So what that leaves the podcast anniversary. This is we're wrapping up. We're winding down. It's almost time for Jocelyn to Secret Santa presents. Guys, we don't do physical gifts anymore. We do patterns. We're doing them right now on Ravelry because that's the format we started with, and I've not been able to get another format that's sort of like Goodreads. We use it because it's really the only thing that's there. Doesn't mean I like it, but this is where we are.
Still the best thing out there.
Still the best thing out there, tragically. So we've got that going on. So if you drop into the chatter, if you drop in a finished object thread at the end of the month-ish, I'm not checking it over Easter weekend. It's not going to be until the Monday after Easter weekend, guys. It's just not going to happen. I will go in and randomly, and I do mean randomly, you will just get a present from Amber Dragon. She will just have gifted, that's me. She will just have gifted you a pattern because I've gone in and rolled a dice and gone, this page number, whatever. Pick it, count down, and then I go into your wish lists on your Ravelry and I buy something pretty for you. That's how it works. So if you want prizing, you need a wish list, you need to be in the Ravelry group, and you need to post in the right threads. You do those things and you could get presents. That's how it works, which has worked great for us, great for me. And in these times of pandemic, when Jocelyn hasn't been allowed out of the house in 4 months, really the only way prizing was going to happen anyway this year.
Shipping stuff is hard.
Shipping stuff is hard at the best of times. So whatever, it is what it is. It saves a lot of work, and it does mean we can give more prizes because an $8 or $10 pattern obviously costs us less than a $30 or $40 skein of yarn. So rather than
with shipping on top of it,
which is $10 to start in this country and then gets more expensive the farther you go. Yay, shipping. So it allows me to give more gifts. Now, if you are absolutely hardcore against Ravelry, Instagram us and tag us on Instagram. I do randomly pick Instagram people sometimes. And if that's the case, I message you to say that you have won and ask what patterns you are interested in having purchased. Some people purchase from Etsy, some people purchase from Ravelry. So long as I have your username or I have your email, if it's or an Etsy gift, I can also do them that way as well. So it's just a matter of doing that. It's just simplified the whole process. I am so stoked we went that route. And we're never going back to physical presents, I don't think. Like if we receive stuff for giveaways from designers or from indie dyers and stuff, I will absolutely pass that on. But I don't think on our own, I don't think we're going looking for pricing anymore. I think on our own we'll just do the patterns.
It's just so much easier. Shipping is expensive, and sometimes things don't show up, and that's disappointing for everybody.
It is disappointing for everybody. It's quite irritating. So that's fine. And it is what it is. So I think that's how we'll work that. And I'm really happy with that. So the podcast anniversary is wrapping up, which is great. Don't worry, it's not the only knit along we're going to do. We tend to take breaks between our knit alongs, so we almost always run one from January 1st-ish to the end of March-ish, then always from July 1st-ish to the end of September-ish. Then sometimes we run one in the last quarter of the year because that just works the best for our schedules and what we do that isn't strictly speaking podcast work. So the summer one's already been picked, and we'll start talking about that probably in May because that's how I roll.
Sounds good.
Other than that, I think that's it for wool gathering.
Yeah. That leaves us with books, literature.
Well, that's because I knit an entire freaking chart at 400 plus stitches this week. I thought you would be racing ahead. I was so worried that you left behind.
Well, I was until I did it wrong and had to put it in timeout.
On the bright side, I am so not going to focus on that this week, and I'm so going to focus on other things because they're bugging me more. All right, book-wise, as of the 16th of March, I will be in another tome topple.
Reading all the things.
Tome topple's really simple. It is my favorite read along. I religiously do this one. I'll do other readathons, but this is my bread and butter. This is where I'm happiest. They are books over 500 pages, and boy, do I have a lot of those on my list. And you have 2 weeks. That is your primary goal. Read a book over 500 pages, and you got 2 weeks to do it in. I like to aim for 4 or 5. I like to fill up the bingo cards. I even like doing some of the Instagram challenges. Overachiever, right here. So I have my list of 5. No way I'm making it through those books that I'm going to try to accomplish for Tome Topple. So next week is going to be a little book heavy.
Yeah.
However, this week is not like it was book light. I didn't read too many, but I did get through 2 books and I'm almost finished a third. So I finished the next in the Laurel K. Hamilton and Anita Blake series, which was Blue Moon. Which, hello. Complications arise. This is all the sort of drama I want in my urban fantasy horror things that I don't even know where to classify this book series. It does all the things. It does zombies, it does werewolves, it does vampires, it does true crime mystery solving, it does horror scenes where you're racing around shooting things in the dark, it does sexy fun adult times. You know, it's got a female protagonist that I both adore and I want to shake violently. So like I'm enamored of these characters hardcore. I've also been reading the series since the late 90s. And it started being published in the early 90s. So like I've been with it for a while now.
Wow.
Home for me. It's a long running series. So that was done. Obsidian Butterfly, which is next in the series, literally came up today. That my hold came up that it was my turn to have the book on my Libby app. So I'm going to open that up probably in the next year or so. I needed other things to read to occupy my time. So what was the book I finished? Oh, Disfigured.
Mm-hmm.
On Fairy Tales, Disability, and Making Space by
something Leduc.
Yeah, but I remember the first name of the author. Now I feel bad.
Oh, I didn't write it down. I'm sorry.
Why didn't you write it down? We make show notes for a reason.
I write down the last name so that I can find the proper book to link because sometimes things have the same title. But I don't always write down the first name.
I tell you. You probably will now at over an overabundance of caution. Amanda Leduc. So it's not fiction, it's non-fiction, and it's obviously about fairy tales and disabilities. It's right there in the title. And then I'm gonna go read it. Just
Yes, it's on my list.
read it. And I'd be Diana. Everybody, just read it. It's not a big book. It doesn't get, as my mom would say, overly weepy about things. It doesn't
Really
do.
weepy,
My mom's
actually.
not into that. My mom's not into blaming. She's not into finger pointing. She's not into going shame on you. She's not into that sort of like cultural aspect of you've done wrong and you need to, sit in the corner and think about what you've done. She's more into the lines, and I'm more into the lines of, okay, perhaps you didn't understand, so like let's explain it to you. Like let's show you what we're seeing so that you have a better understanding of what's going on. It's just sort of don't make the assumed guess that you understand that you've done goofed. Let's explain why it's different from different perspectives. So in this case,
Mm-hmm.
she goes through fairy tales and myths and she explains it from a disabled person's perspective. Like, where is the princess in the wheelchair? Why is it in the fairy tales we grew up with, and no matter what you think, they affect how you perceive the world? And she goes through a lot of that, explaining things and teaches. She doesn't blame, she teaches, which, and that's why I'm like, okay, you need to stop what you're reading and you need to go read that.
I have it queued up right here on Scribed.
Yeah, because it doesn't blame you for not knowing. It goes, okay, let's think about this as a sort of intellectual thinking process. Like, why is this the way this is? Like, how did we get here and how does that affect things? So it does a lot of, okay, so you see, people go through their journey and they get to the end and then they're healed. Well, okay, well, how does that translate into how people treat disabled people nowadays? Oh, well, you could get it fixed. How many times have you and I been somewhere where someone has tried to tell me how to fix my eyesight problem?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't count how many times this has happened. I
Well,
certainly have.
have you tried this thing that everybody's heard of? And like, oh wow, no, the super common thing that I've
Lazy
heard
eye.
of. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Wow.
So that happens to be a lot, you guys. A lot. And a lot of, what being forced into some of these niche markets and like being forced to be someone else's inspiration porn drives me up the wall. Drives me up the wall. I hate it when it happens to me, but I understand that it's a part of the culture. So I try to, rather than going like, because you want to violently shake the person and go, please pull your head out of your butt, just stop it. Just stop it. What you're doing is rude. Could you please stop? If you want to teach, because that's not going to, shaking them well will feel great. It isn't going to fix anything. Nobody's being,
Unfortunately, yes.
and I'll get charged with assault, so let's not do that. But finding resources that you can share with people that'll explain it so that maybe they can start to think about it in different ways is important. So I'm just like, I was so happy to find a resource that I can be like, and it's not super academic, so it's not like you have to already be well into the, I love to critically think about things that go on in my world, because sometimes I don't. I can, but it doesn't mean I want to always. And she
Mm-hmm.
breaks it down, so it's like, you don't have to. Like, let's look at this from perspectives of, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Ariel. Like, let's look at the original myths. Let's look at what we've been taking out. Let's look at what that teaches children, and by extent, what we do, because that's what we've been taught. Like, and how do we change that story? How do we change it so like the next generation doesn't have the same barriers we do? Super, super good. I could continue to rave about it. I need you guys to go read it because it is definitely worth the short amount of time you will spend with it.
I think the audiobook said it was like 8 hours and 17 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's a day
Fairly short.
fairly short. So do it up. Do it up, because we need more things like that on like all the topics so that we have a
That
better
will be my going for walks book this week.
good plan. It's very insightful. You just sat there like, oh yeah. And I mean, Diana will probably have more oh yeah moments because she'll be, Jocelyn's complained about this ad nauseum.
Well, like if you don't live it or you don't have someone close to you that lives it,
You just don't know.
you just never you can't possibly know.
You can't. So I'll be like, yeah, this helps people, sort of see and share in that kind of lived experience so that they can get a better idea of what's going on. Ah, beautiful. So good. So good. And then, of course, for fun, I decided to reread the letters of Abelard and Heloise, and you should have seen me spelling that out for Diana before we started.
Well, I started to write out Eloise and like, okay, silent H. What?
What?
What silent H? What?
Right after she said, I hate silent letters in the English alphabet.
Yeah, I was trying to write something. I was trying to write half for Half Moon Tea, and I can't spell a 4-letter word that has a silent letter in it.
I gave her a bigger one.
I have a degree in computer science, not language. Actually, a degree in computer science is sort of a degree in language. It's just not natural language.
It is a language. All right. So
anyway, yes, your letters.
I found my print copy from my university days because I've read this once before. So the letters of Abelard and Heloise, or Eloise. They are a pair. They are a married pair who one goes into a convent, one goes into a monastery. They become an abbot and abbess, and it is their letters and correspondences back and forth to each other, both at the beginning of Abelard's tale of how they got to where they are, and their correspondences therefore. Originally, these correspondences were written in the 12th century. Hardcore history, people. Jocelyn likes history. She likes really old as dirt stuff. So, yeah. Super, super enlightening, super big if you're a historian, because it gives you so much details. But you know what? If you're not a historian and you just really kind of want to read a beautifully worded kind of tragic love story, The Letters of Abelard and Heloise. I mean, the reason their secret marriage doesn't work out, like they had a child out of wedlock, like it's a whole thing. It's because after they're married in secret, and he's a philosopher in the secular community, her guardian, her uncle, and a couple of his, people make him a eunuch afterwards. So there's really kind of goes downhill from there for them. And then they go to their respective monasteries to worship God. And it's beautifully, beautifully written letters from two very intellectual people sharing not only just their devotion to each other, but their devotion to God and how they perceive and how they function and work in the world. So it's like this beautiful glimpse into 12th century life, which you just don't have a lot of. We don't have a ton of 12th century letter correspondences floating around at this point in our lives.
No.
Small numbers. So what little we got, we just, super analyze the snot out of. But it's really interesting because how they speak, their patterns, what's important, what's not important to them. It's so different from what we value that it's great for perspective inducing. It's great to remind me that everything I think is literal is ephemeral and it's not going to last. Don't worry about it. Sometimes you need that reminder to just breathe. It's a moment. It too shall pass. Yep. So I should, in theory, get through the last of the letters of Abelard and Heloise. I've only got like 6 hours left to listen. And then that'll be done. And then I'm going to try to get Obsidian Butterfly finished before Tome Topple starts on the 16th. We'll see how well that does. I'm sorry. You were talking about the books you finished.
Okay. So I don't know how hard we should really celebrate because I finished Children of Blood and Bone, which is an audiobook that I started in like October.
Yeah,
but I finally finished it.
That's important.
Oh gosh. So yeah, that book ends with a bang.
Uh-huh.
Like a really big bang.
Uh-huh.
And doesn't actually resolve the thing that it's set out to resolve.
Nope.
So I have the second book queued up unscribed.
Good.
Probably after Disfigured though, because I want to read something shorter.
Yeah, Disfigured's going to be shorter than the second book, and
yeah. The Children of Blood and Bone I think was 18 hours, and the second one, which is Children of,
I don't remember.
It's Vengeance and something.
It's been so
Virtue
long.
and Vengeance, Vengeance and Virtue. Those two words. And that one's like 17 hours. So I'm gonna read something short in between.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I am absolutely loving the non-white European fantasy stuff.
Isn't it lovely?
Yeah,
Isn't it lovely?
like it's different. Yes, I'm behind on my 2 books a month goal, so gotta gotta read something shorter for a little bit.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
The other one I finished was the physical book that I was reading because apparently now I have an audiobook and a physical book at all times.
Mhm.
100,000 Kingdoms.
So good.
I know that one's a series, but I really like how it ended, and I kind of just want to leave it there because like it was a really solid ending.
You can do that. Leave it alone. And at some
I
point,
know I know it's the first in a trilogy, and like I will probably get to it at some point, but like I'm just very satisfied with how that ended. Like there were consequences, but then like but I also enjoy I'm trying to figure out how to say this without like spoilering because you get stuff from the
there's a
perspective of the gods, right?
satisfying conclusion to the primary story arc. You get
Yes.
from the beginning to the end, and yes, if you want to, you can stop. Just because there is a series doesn't mean you have to finish it. You can
What?
because you know
What?
at some point, if you want to, there's more in the world to read, but you don't have to.
What? I don't understand.
Not gonna be dismissed. This is the one I was talking about, the Tiger's Daughter. Guys, look, I have two Audible credits still. This is that really, really beautifully written kind of prose poem.
Okay.
And no, I can't pronounce the author's name.
That's fine. Tiger's Daughter is good enough.
So, because it's K. Ooh, yeah.
Probably something Japanese.
Arsenault. That's the first name.
Uh-huh.
Do it. Nope, can't do it. Gonna totally nope out of that. That's a beautiful, but that is like the Priory of the Orange Tree. It's like this. It's so big. Not
Okay.
like, oh, I read it on Audible and then I saw Priory of the Orange Tree on the bookshelf and I went, oh my god.
Ooh.
Thank heavens I did not know you were that big when I started listening to you. Woo! No wonder everyone said it was such an accomplishment. Now I know why.
Yeah.
Audible books are deceptive. They don't weigh any more than your phone, so you don't know. Oops. But no, it's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad you got them done and I'm glad you enjoyed them. That's the important part.
I enjoy how you get some of the like God perspective in 100,000 Kingdoms and just how much because there's like at the end there's going to be like a lot of consequences for the human race,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but you kind of have it from the God's perspective at the end and they just like
Eh,
it's gonna happen and like it'll be hard for a while, guys, but it's like we're gonna go off and do God stuff now.
yep.
And it's just
What?
how much that they it's not that they don't care, but they don't because they're gods and they live forever that they just don't grasp.
They don't
It's
understand.
a different level of importance for them.
They don't understand the varying importance for the human concerns because they're not human. What I like is that the author didn't try to make them human. She let them be other.
Yeah.
Yeah, she let them be
Oh,
other, which is
how yeah, the
far
whole like multiple forms
yeah,
thing.
far more interesting to me
So cool.
than forcing a very human perspective onto something that's supposed to be otherworldly. By just being
Yeah, like
otherworldly and other is super fine because they're not trying to be human. That's not what they are.
and they just like the multiple forms and they're forms of the thing, but the forms are like individuals unto themselves and it just like it hurts your brain a little bit, but it's so interesting.
So yeah, no, it's a really well, and I think you'd enjoy the rest of the series. But you don't have to finish a series if you start it. If you don't enjoy it, stop reading it. If you are enjoying it, but you want to let the story sit for a while, go back and visit the characters later. They'll still be there.
This is true.
They'll still be there.
So that's what I finished. And then I picked up Scion of the Fox by SM Biko, which um unrelated to it being a book is a friend of Mr. Diana's from like a long time ago.
Sure.
And she lives in Winnipeg, and she set her book in Winnipeg.
Oh, nifty.
So like it starts like the first page, the main character's riding her bike down Wellington Crescent. And I'm like, oh, I know where that is. And they're talking about this crossroads or train tracks. I'm like, oh, I've been there. I know exactly what's going on right here. And it's, I mean, I read like 2 pages, but like, it's gonna be really weird having a thing set in a place that I know.
It would be interesting. It's always interesting to read books that are set in Winnipeg. It's always interesting for me to read books that are set anywhere I've been because I'm like, wait a minute, I know that landmark. Weird.
This yarn
Giving you grief?
stresses me at times. Like, can I make it focus on the yarn? There's a thin spot right here. There's like, it's hanging on by a literal thread. And this has happened to me multiple times. And I'm like barely halfway into this ball. And I just keep having to break this single thread and magic knot it back together. And this is like the third time I'm going to have to do that. I am not super enthused with this yarn.
I want to be one of those ones that you know that's not a brand line that you like and don't get it again.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Grumble, grumble. Oh yeah, the number of times my single ply sport weight yarn is broken now that we're at the yoke is getting up there.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Am I worried about it? No. It's gonna partially felt in single ply plus single ply and constant mother effing color work. Should be fine.
Oh, I'm making it worse. I'm making this so much worse. Oh my god, what have I done? I should not try to do things. But I'm also trying to hold a conversation. Oh, I've screwed this up real good. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna put that down.
Sure. Shall we do an outro?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just leave that. Okay.
Let's do that. Okay. All right. Well then, in which case, until next week, I'll say I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
No matter where your week takes you,
Don't forget to knit.
which we will never get to line up properly, I think.